balance, moderation, equilibrium. These are the sacred words of your age, repeated like mantras by those who have forgotten what it means to burn. You schedule your passions like appointments. You measure your intensity with apps. You speak of sustainable creativity and healthy ambition as if fire could be negotiated with, as if lightning consulted the storm before it struck. And I who have known the ecstasy of thought that consumes sleep, who have written until my hand cramped and my vision blurred, who have walked alone in mountains until the boundary between self and sky dissolved, I say to you, your obsession with balance is not wisdom. It is exhaustion dressed in therapeutic language. The lightning bolt does not pause mid-strike to ask whether it's being too extreme. The avalanche does not moderate itself. The volcano does not practice self-care. And you who were meant to create, to build, to transform, you have turned your life into an exercise in risk management, your days into a carefully calibrated spreadsheet where nothing is allowed to demand everything. Tell me, when did you decide that tepidness was a virtue? When did you begin to mistake the absence of excess for the presence of maturity? When did you start believing that a life worth living could be achieved through careful portion control of your own soul? The strong do not seek balance. They seek totality. They burn completely, and from their ashes, they rise transformed. Listen to how you speak. Work-life balance. Everything in moderation. Don't burn out. Pace yourself. Sustainable practices. These phrases fall from your lips with the solemnity of Scripture. You have made a religion of the middle path, erected temples to the reasonable, canonized the lukewarm as saints. But let me tell you what moderation really is. It is the philosophy of those who have nothing worth being immoderate about. The artist who transforms their medium does not work balanced hours. The scientist who revolutionizes understanding does not pace themselves. The entrepreneur who builds empires does not consult their wellness app before pursuing the vision that possesses them. The lover who knows real passion does not schedule it between meditation and meal prep. You know this. Deep in the part of yourself, you've learned to silence. You know this. Every great work of art, every scientific breakthrough, every transformed life, every profound love, all of it was born from holy obsession, from the kind of manic dedication that your balanced lifestyle would diagnose as pathology. Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel was that balanced. Van Gogh in his fever of creation was that moderate. Einstein wrestling with relativity was that sustainable. Marie Curie in her laboratory, dying slowly of radiation exposure while birthing modern physics, did she practice proper self-care? And yet you who create nothing that will outlive you, who build nothing that transforms the landscape, who love nothing with the intensity that rewrites your very nature, you preach balance as if it were the highest wisdom. You have turned your life into a project to be managed rather than a fire to be fed. Every morning, you check your apps. Sleep score, optimized. Heart rate variability, balanced. Macronutrients, tracked. Screen time, limited. Steps, counted. Meditation completed. You have quantified every aspect of existence, measured every input and output, balanced every equation. And the result? You are perfectly optimized for what exactly? For longevity, for continued optimization, for the sustainable maintenance of a life that never risks anything, creates nothing, demands nothing of you except continued management? You have confused self-preservation with self-becoming. You have mistaken the careful rationing of your energy for the wise expenditure of your power. You have turned existence into accounting. But I ask you, what are you preserving yourself for? You speak of sustainability as if you were a renewable resource, as if the goal of life were to continue indefinitely in a state of managed adequacy. You hoard your energy like a miser hoards gold, careful never to spend too much, always keeping reserves, always playing it safe. And like the miser, you will die rich in unspent potential and poor in lived experience. The tragedy is not that you are managing your life. The tragedy is that you have made management itself the purpose. You have turned the means into the end. You wake each day not to create, not to build, not to love with the intensity that transforms, but to successfully maintain your balance, to hit your targets, to stay within your sustainable parameters. This is not living. This is the sophisticated administration of your own slow decline. There was a time, perhaps you barely remember it, when you felt something wild in yourself. An energy that wanted to consume you, possess you, drive you towards something you couldn't name, but knew with every cell was worth the burning. Maybe it was a creative vision that kept you awake, that made you forget to eat, that turned everything else in life into background noise. Maybe it was an intellectual obsession that hijacked your thoughts, that made you fill notebooks at 3 a.m, that rendered you useless for small talk because your mind was elsewhere, wrestling with something vast. Maybe it was love, real love, the kind that obliterated your carefully constructed routines, that made you stupid and brave and reckless, that turned you into someone you didn't recognize and didn't want to. And then what happened? You grew afraid of it. This wildness, this intensity, this part of yourself that refused to be scheduled, quantified, balanced. So you did what your age does to everything wild. You domesticated it. You took that creative fire and turned it into a side project you work on for exactly 1 hour each Sunday. You took that intellectual hunger and fed it processed content in carefully measured doses. You took that capacity for consuming love and turned it into a relationship that works because it demands nothing, disrupts nothing, transforms nothing. You neutered your own vitality and called it emotional regulation. You sedated your own power and called it finding balance. You took everything in yourself that was capable of greatness and you trained it, disciplined it, domesticated it, until it would sit, stay, roll over, on command. And now you wonder why you feel nothing, why the colors seem dimmer, why existence feels like going through motions rather than being possessed by meaning. You have committed the gravest sin. You have made yourself safe from yourself. Everything in moderation, you say. Even moderation, you add cleverly, thinking yourself wise. But this is a lie that sounds like wisdom. The middle path, the golden mean, the balanced life, these concepts work for maintaining what already exists. They are excellent philosophies for stewardship, for preservation, for continuation. But nothing new has ever been born from the middle path. No transformation has ever emerged from moderation. No one has ever become who they were capable of becoming by seeking equilibrium at every turn. Creation requires extremity. Birth requires violence. Transformation requires the complete destruction of what was. You cannot forge steel at moderate temperatures. You cannot split the atom with reasonable force. You cannot reach escape velocity through gradual, balanced acceleration. And yet you apply the logic of maintenance to the work of becoming. You seek to transform yourself through moderate, sustainable practices. You want to be reborn without dying. You want to emerge from the chrysalis without first dissolving completely in the darkness. This is not how metamorphosis works. The caterpillar that tried to balance being a caterpillar with becoming a butterfly would achieve neither. It would be a confused, malformed thing too changed to be what it was, too careful to become what it might be. You are this confused creature. You want the results of total dedication without the totality. You want the transformation that comes from holy obsession without the obsession. You want to burn with purpose without burning out. And so you get neither the peace of acceptance nor the ecstasy of becoming. You get the worst of both, the anxiety of wanting more and the guilt of never fully committing, the dissatisfaction of the unlived life and the exhaustion of trying to live it. Balanced. The strong understand something you have forgotten. There are times in life when balance is not the answer, when equilibrium is not the goal, when the only sane response to what life demands of you is totality. When you find your purpose, your real purpose, not the comfortable hobby you've sanctioned, balance becomes irrelevant. The question is not, how do I sustainably pursue this? The question is, how completely can I give myself to this? When you encounter a love that transforms not the manageable partnership you've optimized, but the kind of love that rewrites your understanding of what it means to be human, balance becomes an insult. The question is not, how do I integrate this into my existing life? The question is, what am I willing to let this destroy in me so something greater can be born? When you face a challenge that could elevate you, not the carefully selected growth opportunities you've scheduled, but the genuine ordeal that could break you or make you balance, becomes cowardice. The question is not, how do I handle this without getting too stressed? The question is, am I willing to be consumed by this and emerge transformed? The strong know that there are seasons for building and seasons for maintaining, times for creation and times for preservation, moments that demand everything and periods that require nothing. But you have made every season the same, every moment balanced, every day sustainable, every year indistinguishable from the last. This is not strength. This is the terror of intensity disguised as wisdom. So let me offer you something your wellness coaches will not. Permission to be excessive, permission to be immoderate, permission to burn. Find the thing that possesses you, that idea, that work, that love, that purpose, and stop managing it. Stop scheduling it. Stop trying to fit it into the balanced life you've constructed. Instead, let it consume you. Let it disrupt your sleep, your routines, your carefully maintained equilibrium. Let it make you forget to eat. Let it render you useless for small talk. Let it turn you into someone even you don't recognize. This is not irresponsibility. This is not recklessness. This is what it means to be alive, to occasionally be so possessed by something that your whole being reorganizes around it, to burn so completely in service of your becoming that balance becomes irrelevant. And yes, you might burn out. You might exhaust yourself. You might fail spectacularly. But this burning out, this exhaustion in service of something greater than yourself, is more alive than all your balanced years of careful management. This spectacular failure, while reaching for something extraordinary, is more noble than the slow, sustainable success of building nothing that matters. Because here is what your wellness philosophy will never tell you. You are going to die anyway. Your energy will run out regardless. The only question is whether you will have spent it on something that transformed you, or whether you will have hoarded it until the end, rich in unspent potential and poor in lived magnificence. You stand where you always stand, at the threshold of intensity, looking for permission to be moderate instead. One path leads back to balance, back to the measured life, the sustainable practices, the careful management of an existence that demands nothing and creates nothing, back to the comfortable philosophy that you are being wise by being tepid, mature by being moderate, healthy by never being fully alive. Take this path if you must. It is safe, approved. Your wellness apps will celebrate you. Your therapist will affirm you. Your balanced friends will validate you. And at the end of your carefully managed life, you will look back on decades of perfect equilibrium and sustainable practices and wonder why you feel you never truly lived. The other path leads to fire, to the holy obsession that possesses you completely, to the creative fury that destroys your sleep and your routines and your carefully constructed balance, to the love that unmakes you, to the purpose that demands everything. This path promises nothing except transformation. No balance, no sustainability, no guarantee you won't burn out, break down, or fail catastrophically. But if you succeed, if you give yourself completely to the thing that possesses you, you will know what it means to be alive. You will create something that outlasts you. You will love with the intensity that transforms. You will become the lightning that does not negotiate with the storm. I cannot choose for you, but I can tell you this. The strong do not seek balance. They seek wholeness through totality. They become complete not through careful management, but through complete expenditure. They find peace not through equilibrium, but through burning themselves entirely in service of their becoming and emerging, phoenix-like, transformed. Your balanced life will never give you this. Your sustainable practices will never forge this. Your moderated passions will never ignite this. So I ask you, one final time, what are you preserving yourself for? What future moment are you saving your energy for? What coming day will finally be worthy of your complete commitment? That day is today. That moment is now. The lightning is ready to strike. Will you negotiate with the storm, or will you become it? Stop seeking balance. Start seeking totality. The strong are waiting for you to join them, but they will not wait forever.